are live.
Bow, bow, bow,
Bum, bum.
bow.
Wah, wah, wah. Oh man. Okay. I don't know if you could see the stream yet. It says waiting for us
No.
on my
Yeah, it
iPad.
hasn't.
Um, it says we're live though. There we go. Installing pickups. Okay. Okay. So I see us. Cool. So we have that view, which is top down and us talking. But then also, if we want to do just a focus on us, I think it should change. Let me change this. Nope, it's not working. So we won't worry about that right now, I guess. But yeah, welcome everybody, anybody who's hanging out with us. I'm Rick Matthews of Matthews Effects, and with me is the one and only, the legend, the mythical beast, Kurtis Lambertone. Sorry, is it Lamberton or Lambertone? Because I always want to call you Kurtis Lambertone.
Yeah, I know. So does everybody else, especially at NAMM.
Yeah.
No, it's Lamberton.
Lamberton. Okay.
Yeah, and much to my wife's chagrin, I decided to take the liberty of making it Lambertones or Tone,
which I think was smart. I liked it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it fits our industry well. It makes sense. But yeah, I am now forever Kurtis Lambertone.
Well, there
are worse things.
there's definitely worse. You could be called Matthew constantly, which is what I get. People constantly think my name is Matthew when my last name is Matthews. Again, who are we to complain? Go ahead.
I even told my wife I'm doing a live stream with Matthew tonight, and then I was like, Matthews Effects, Rick Matthews. Effects. She's like, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and give us a quick rundown of who you are. What do you do? Like, how are you in this industry?
Yeah. So it's been 7 years now, which is crazy to think about, because I think you and I really connected fairly early on in the Lambertones journey, because we only lived like an hour from each other when things first started.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was like 2018.
Gosh, has it been that long?
I know, it's crazy, man. It's gone by in a flash. And it's funny, I was just talking to one of my old high school teachers, because he was down here visiting the shop. And he's like, oh, it's just, it's so cool, what you've done with the space and what you're doing. And I told him, I said, look, I'm so glad I didn't know all the trial and tribulation I would have to go through to get to where, things are right now. Because if I would have known, if I had the foreshadow of how much work,
oh my gosh,
it would have taken to get here, I never would have started.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
I mean, I'm sure I know you feel the same way. It's a grind. It's a beautiful grind, but it is, it's wild.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, so basically what I do is I build passive guitar pickups that really resonate well in a couple of genres, namely the contemporary worship industry. And what I do really well is build. There they are. Hey,
there they are. Yeah.
Wow, that's an OG business card, dude.
It is OG. We're going to talk about why this is OG in a second, because I feel like I need to pay penance for this,
dude.
But yes. Go ahead.
I hope those work. How have they been sitting in the box since 2019?
So that's the thing, right? As you just mentioned, we first connected 2018, somewhere around there, and I actually don't. Okay, I admittedly have a horrible memory. Like most people who know me really well, I mean well, but I have a horrible memory for some things. I don't remember the exact circumstances of me getting these pickup set or this pickup set, but it has become a kind of a running joke between us, hopefully on at least on my side, I hope for you too, of I have never installed these, and I'm always, and maybe this is something I one of the reasons why I wanted to do this as a video is because I feel like maybe some people feel the same way, which is like, I really want to. But I know for me, it's funny how like I feel really confident and like I know my stuff when it comes to pedals.
Sure.
But it's funny how like this is so adjacent and yet I feel like I feel so less confident. A little overwhelmed of like jumping into this, having not really done it. There's that like initial barrier of just like committing and doing it. I haven't done yet. So I feel like there's a little bit to that maybe like people would resonate with, and then they could go on that journey with me. And then
it's kind of the guitar is the biggest part of your signal chain, right? So if you screw this up, you can't play guitar until you get it fixed.
Yeah,
so
that too.
A pedal, you just kind of like, oh shoot,
take it out of the signal chain.
Compressor doesn't work. I'll take it out.
Yeah.
But this is a kind of a do or die here. So
I think also like I recently got a Gretsch. And I think another part was like that hesitation of like, I don't hate how my tele sounds, you know, but then I got my Gretsch and I was like, man, things can really sound better. And I know I learned a long time ago with pedals, at least, that like, you don't know what you're missing until you know what you're missing. Right. And I feel like that was a recent kind of thing for pickups, which was like, if you haven't gone down that path of like trying out different pickups and different combinations and different stuff, you just don't know what you're missing out on and like how much that can improve your like overall sound.
Absolutely.
So yes, I'm very excited. That whole detour, I've had these for over 5 years, basically. So that's why
what
does
OG. Dude, I haven't seen that in a long time. What is? I don't even know. Like, is the base plate on the bridge pickup? Is it laser engraved?
I will. Oh yeah. So I love. I don't know if this is like aged or if this was just how it came out. I don't know how well. Let's see the delay. My video delay. Let me get a better.
Oh, dude,
screen.
This is pre-fiber laser.
Yeah.
So what you have?
Look at that.
What you have is a technology that is so archaic, using stencils and electrochemical etching to make that into the base plate.
It looks so good, though. The Blondie.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay,
that's wild, dude.
So we have
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
So tell me about this. Like, is there anything I should know about the Blondie? Like, you still make the Blondie, right?
Yeah, it's one of our core models. It's the second bestseller after the Crema.
So what makes a Lambertone Blondie special or like unique? Like why should someone put in a Blondie in their tele, or what should they be going for if they want to put in a Blondie?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a couple different ways that I can approach this question. One is if people are, also, buying.
I'm going to start deconstructing.
Yeah, you do it
because I realize that's going to take a couple minutes.
Yeah. Sometimes people are trying to like upgrade one of the modern Fender teles that have noiseless pickups in them, and so by default, when you're changing out to one of a more for lack of a better word, boutique brand of guitar pickups, you're usually going back to a traditional single coil design.
Okay.
And so that's going to be a very different sound anyway. This tele looks a little bit older. Looks like in early 2000s, maybe.
Yeah, I forget the production year on it. It is I want to say it's an AVRI.
Okay.
But I'm forgetting what year it is. It's a double bound, which I spent a long time finding. This is like my favorite tele guitar.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's I don't think it's a 50s, but I want to say maybe it's a 60s AVRI where,
Yeah.
And then, like probably in early 2000s.
Yeah. So you have single coils in there already. So basically the Blondie set was designed to pay tribute to the Telecaster twang that has made that guitar one of the most recorded instruments on the planet.
Right.
But with a little bit of a modern twist on how the bridge is wound. So it's actually overwound.
Okay.
So there's a little bit more girth to it. You still get a lot of high end clarity, but it's going to compress a little bit harder, and you're just going to have a little bit more like richness in that like lower mid range. So it doesn't come through as like shrill.
Right.
Still lots of high end information, but not ice picky. And I
Now,
think that was a term that was like super overused in like, 2015 to 2019 is like ice picky teletone.
right.
The noiseless pickups have kind of taken people away from that. Now it's just like dull and lifeless. I'm not sure which is better.
Which is better.
Yeah, but yeah. So the bridge pickup for the Blondie is that it's it's still you can still like dig in and pick closer to the bridge saddles and really get kind of a country sound, or you can strum a little bit more towards the middle and get some incredible lead tones. But for me, the pickup in that set that is really the best part of it is the neck pickup.
Okay.
There's just so much clarity in that neck pickup because I use a really unique and unconventional magnet combination.
Okay.
That just voices things differently, shifts the EQ curve, and part of like now I'm kind of rambling, but you asked, so
go for it.
Part of what I've come to understand over the years of doing this, and what I think people have kind of come to refer to us for, is this clarity and note articulation and dynamic range. And the way that I achieve that, at least in my methods, is by very precisely controlling the tension of the wire as it's being wound into the coil.
Okay.
Because if you're varying tensions, there will be pickup winders that say that is considered air. As you loosen and tighten your fingers as you're winding, you're injecting air into the coil and creating eddy currents that can make or break your guitar pickup. That's why you can pick up 100 strats, in Guitar Center, and they're all going to sound different.
Right.
I have found that I like to very precisely control exactly how the tension is applied.
Okay.
Because then I know what's going to happen. There's no lemon that's going to come out of it.
Right.
And so the Blondie neck is just a really wonderful combination of wire and magnets and tension that turned into a pickup that is one of my favorite sounds that we make here.
That's awesome. Now, I've heard someone refer to your pick, and I hope that this is accurate, not wrong, but as more of like a low output kind of pickup. Is that accurate? Like,
it depends on the model.
Yeah.
The Crema is definitely that. It would be, a low output or low wind. Those are terms that aren't exactly interchangeable, but are kind of thrown around with the same effect. But yeah, I mean, the result of a low wind or low output pickup means that you have more headroom and a taller ceiling for your signal to be amplified and modified before it starts to flub out and you lose information.
Okay. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to be right back.
Yeah.
Keep going, though, because I want to know about this.
You want me to keep going while you're gone?
Well, I had to grab a different screwdriver because the one I grabbed, I didn't want to just disappear and then you wonder where I was going. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're good. All right. This one fits way better, so you're good to go.
Nice. Oh shoot! What was I saying?
So sorry.
No, you're fine. This is what live stream's all about.
This is where we're learning how to do this right. But
yeah, dude, I love it.
I definitely can. Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's a question. How do magnets work? Because I feel like they're kind of like, for most people, like planes. It's just magic. It happens, and I don't understand how they work.
Yeah. I mean, Look, we can't go too far into the science of magnets because I never passed my chemistry class in college.
Yeah.
I had to change my major because I couldn't pass chemistry. But what I know about permanent earth magnets, which is what most passive guitar pickups use, is they're a combination of a few different elements. Most people their ears will perk up if you say Alnico, right?
Oh, right.
Alnico 2 for a vintage PAF in the neck, or an Alnico 5 if you want a modern take. What does that mean? Alnico is, basically aluminum, nickel, and cobalt is the three elements. And depending on what grade of magnets, so Alnico 2, Alnico 3, 4, 5, 8, etc., those change the chemistry and percentage of the elements involved in that magnet construction, right? And so the magic is when you have a permanent earth magnet, and then you have a coil of wire around it, and then you disrupt that magnetic field somehow, you create a tiny little electrical voltage that's out of nothing. I mean, it is magic.
It kind of is.
Yeah. Basically, what your strings, right, on an electric guitar, your strings are ferrous. And ferrous metals interfere with magnetic fields. And that's why if you put nylon strings on an electric guitar, you will have no output.
Oh,
to your heart's content, but it will not disrupt that magnetic field.
I didn't know that.
Your body will disrupt the magnetic field more than the nylon string will. Tapping the pickup with a screwdriver, definitely, hey, that's one of the first filter covers I ever made.
I love how that looks.
Oh, that's when I was still etching the L on the front edge of it. I don't do that anymore.
Is there an L? Oh, yeah, right there.
Yeah, you have like one of 5 out there. Dude, I swear, if this
my laziness paid off. If it doesn't work, I know. I mean, so I do have to interrupt you because I'm not sure. Should we do the neck pickup first or the bridge pickup?
It doesn't matter because either way, you have to pull the control plate off. So
I should remove that as well.
You should. Yeah, you'll need to remove that.
Okay.
So yes, let's do the neck pickup. That's going to be the least.
These all the same. Yeah.
The least challenging. If anything, those screws are actually bigger than the pickguard screws.
Let me grab something real quick.
Or a 1/16 of an inch longer.
Gotta have a trusty.
Oh yeah, dude, those are the best.
Little bin for all the screws to go into, so I don't lose them. Okay, so okay, so take off. We've removed the pick guard.
Yep.
And now we're removing the control plate.
The control plate, the tele control plate.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you're going to do now is you're going to trace the wires from your neck pickup through that slot. And one of them is going to lead to a ground, usually on the volume pot. And the other one is going to go to the switch.
Okay. Yep. Okay, cool. So
you'll need to make a note of where those two wires go. The switch is always going to be your positive. And then the ground is going to go,
So would you do those like, is the best way to approach this as in like do just the neck pickup so that you don't get things mixed up and then do the bridge pickup?
Yeah, for your first pickup swap, absolutely, one at a time.
Okay.
But first thing before you start clipping wires and unsoldering stuff, you need to take a picture.
Oh, right. Picture. Good idea.
Yeah. That way you always have a reference. Oh, cute dog.
Oh, did it show on my cell phone? Yeah.
Yeah, that way you have a reference point like, oh, no, I have no sound. I'm going to go back.
Right.
Yeah. Or, some people like they get trigger happy and then they remove all the wires from their switch. And then they're like, where do the bridge and neck wires go?
Yeah. Well, and
And
that's why I was thinking, I should disconnect one pickup at a time, so
yeah,
I don't get
that's the easiest. Yeah, that's the
too
easiest way
far
to do
away
it.
from myself. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
looks like we're nice and hot.
Nice.
So let's try removing this one.
You are no stranger to the
Boom.
solder.
The soldering iron, I'm good with the soldering iron.
Yeah.
So what's the most recent pickup model that you've launched? Like what's the latest thing from Lambertone?
Yeah, the latest is a set called the V90, which is a play on words. And you know this, like you've known the brand long enough to know that everything is kind of like named after coffee terminology. Or maybe you didn't know this.
As someone who doesn't drink coffee, I think I was a little slow on that. Actually,
Okay.
I just recently started drinking coffee, and this will really upset my wife because I drank an entire mug, so I'm a coffee drinker now.
You are.
And she's been going strong for her whole life. So, but yeah, I think I was a little slow to that. I don't think it makes sense now. The crema and
Yeah, crema, grinder, triple shot.
That's so funny. 100%. It did not click for me at all.
Honestly, that's great because I've had this fear. Like, when you started Matthews Effects, the people who rallied around you and understood your brand were like the super fans.
Right.
And they know everything about you.
Yeah.
And then their circle of influence goes out a layer and it's like friends of friends. And then all of a sudden the people who are buying from you are outside that next layer and they didn't know you. They didn't know where your brand started.
Right.
Now all of a sudden you have a customer base that has no idea where your roots are from. They're buying because you're solving a problem, that they have. Right.
Yeah.
And so my fear with Lambertones and all this coffee stuff was like, at some point, people are going to start throwing question marks on the product description on the website because it's talking about tone in terms of coffee terminology. And I used to ship a bag of coffee with every pickup set.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, all over the world. I shipped over 6,000 bags of coffee.
That's so much coffee. You might as well have been like you could have called yourself a roastery at that point, right? Or was it partnered with a roastery, or was it beans you were making?
I partnered with my favorite roastery, the Walla Walla Roastery, close to you.
Oh yeah.
And
also, I'm getting really lazy. I'm having trouble grounding that, so I'm just gonna snip it.
You're just gonna.
Maybe you would argue against that, but
you're gonna have to solder that to that spot later. So.
I know, but I have like a fine tip on my soldering iron. I didn't really think about that, but I have like a small fine tip, and so I was trying to side, to try to just generate that extra heat, and I was not moving it at all.
Good for pedals, not great for ground spots.
No, it did not want to heat up. Okay, sorry. So neck pickup, these two screws on the side.
Yes, those are the mounting screws and also the pickup height adjustment screws.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, as you loosen those, the pickup will actually rise in the cavity to the point of where you loosen them enough, the screw will pop out, and now you have nothing holding it in.
How am I supposed? Because I didn't think about that. What is the proper way to set pickup height?
Yeah, it's tricky, especially for your vintage style pickguard where the mounting screws are hidden underneath.
Yeah, you can't adjust them until you have the pickguard on and you have the strings on.
Yeah, not very many teles anymore are like that. Most of them actually have mounting holes in the pickguard itself, and then the pickup is adjusted via springs or these little like I don't know if you can see this. These little like rubber tubes.
Oh yeah, like like spacers.
Yeah, they're spacers. Yeah, basically, and you run the screw through that between the pickup and the pick guard, and now you have like something to adjust the height off of. But yours is a little bit tricky. So what I do in that sense is basically I look at the bottom of the fretboard because you're really close to it, and you want to make sure that the cover of the pickup once it's installed is just below the bottom edge of the fretboard.
Okay.
Because you know the strings are going to clear it, right? Because the strings are not going to touch the fret.
Okay, so we will remind me to circle back to that.
Yes.
As we get this actually in here. Okay.
You're pulling it out.
Am I not?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I'm being dramatic.
Okay, so I'm guessing we need this little. Is that just? It's like gummy.
Yeah, so that's one of those rubber tubes.
Okay.
So you can use that, and you can use those. I have no idea what hardware I sent you. This from 2019, dude. Who knows?
Oh, right. Yeah, because there is a little bag. Okay, yes. So there is some springs.
Yeah, the springs are for the bridge pickup.
Bridge. Okay.
Yeah. Are there no tubes in that one?
No tubes.
Okay.
But that's okay. We got these. We'll use the original
ones.
Let's see if I can get this.
And then you can decide if you want to use the original screws, or the two skinny screws that are in that little baggie.
Is there any pros or cons to that? Or?
No, especially since it's hidden. You're not going to see those screws. Some people like want to use original hardware to keep it looking as stock as possible, which is totally great.
This one isn't, we this one's not like vintage, I guess, or anything,
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we feed the cables through first.
Yeah. Do you have an ohm meter by any chance?
I do, yeah.
You should test that before you put these in.
Okay. You curious?
Yeah, I'm so curious.
Let's see, where's my... Okay. Also, feel free if you see any comments in the chat, just so you guys know, I have a very bad setup for this right now in terms of like I have an iPad with the delayed stream up, and then the actual like on time stream is like over here for me, so I can't really keep up with questions very well. So I'm just measuring the two leads.
Yeah. Come on, baby.
All right, I'm seeing.
Let's go.
5.94.
Yeah, man.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds fantastic.
Up to spec?
Yes. Definitely within spec.
Okay.
Yeah. I see a cool comment here. Someone says, I used to have a huge pedal board with tons of pedals. I recently got rid of all the pedals and replaced them with HS effects unit except for one. My MIDI modded micropog by Matthews Effects. Oh,
there we go. That takes me back. Yeah, I appreciate that. I will never make any more of those, though. That was
Is that a nightmare?
Super fun to do. And it was cool in the sense of like obviously it was like a cool product. And like, but part of the reason why I did that was, even though it was like the worst to do that, I hated doing them, was just like to help get the brand name out there. Like it was a good, like, how can we introduce Matthews Effects to people who've, haven't, heard of us before or anything like that.
Absolutely. I get that.
And so we did them for a while, a bunch of different batches, but I don't think I'll ever do any more of them.
Yeah.
That's super fun.
I'm not going to do any more pedal board, like finding ground faults anymore, like I used to do in like Facebook guitar tone forums.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'd help people with their wiring problems. Just like,
I will say something I found out this last week. So the reason why part of why we're doing this stream and like talking and everything like that is because I started a new Discord community that's not like Matthews Effects community, but it's like just music gear community in general.
Tone enthusiasts.
Tone enthusiasts, yes. Oh, I think I got a hair in my mouth. I hate that feeling.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Oh, there we go. But one of the things, so like you have a section in there, and like I have a Matthews Effects section, and I have a voice channel in my Matthews Effects section. So if you want this, let me know. But what was really cool was I did a firmware update for our technician pedal this week, and there was like a couple different people who were having trouble doing the update, and it was so easy to be like, hey, jump in the voice chat and we'll run through it. And I can even screen share my screen with you to show you like how to do it on the website and everything like that. And voice chat.
Next level customer service right there.
Because you don't I don't usually my biggest I don't want to call you as a customer is because I don't want my personal phone number out there. Just in general, you know, you never know. So I want to try to keep my personal phone number. So, but then it doesn't require a phone number. You're just in the Discord app doing voice chat and So I actually super dug it. It was pretty cool.
It's brilliant.
These screws are eating into the
flat work, and
housing. That's fine.
That's totally fine.
Okay.
The reason is because in your case, it would actually be easier if they were drilled out, right? Because you're actually going to use the guitar body as the source of impact for the threads.
Okay.
But in most Telecasters, most modern ones, that's where the tension point needs to be, is on the flat work, because it has to be pulled against the pick guard.
Okay.
So you can just screw down through that, put the rubber tubing on the backside, and then plunge them into the guitar body.
So on the modern ones, it's more the pickup is being pulled towards the pick guard than being pulled towards the body. Okay, that makes sense. That's super cool.
Yeah. It's very rudimentary as far as the mounting method,
right?
But it works.
It gets the job done.
Yep.
Cool.
What's tricky is when people need to adjust their pickup height. And for example, I'm having this issue right now where I got a batch of screws in from my screw manufacturer in Tennessee. And there's this barrel shaft here that has no threads on it.
Oh,
and
no.
I needed 7 more threads on this in order to get optimum height adjustability.
Yeah.
And for most models, it's fine. But there's a couple that don't work and they need more height. And now the screws that I've shipped out with that set are not compatible with everything.
Oh, that's a bummer.
That's a real joy.
What do you feel? Yeah. What do you feel like is there any new gear stuff that has you excited or interested in the industry? Like amps, guitars, anything new you've tried out or heard about that you're excited about?
I think the thing I was most excited about is, it's old news now, but Tonex was a really big deal.
Yeah.
And it's changing everything.
Yeah.
So I'm still really...
I just went to 2 Tonex ones to run stereo.
Yeah. They're awesome, dude. They're so great and they're so affordable.
Yeah.
And the captures that people are able to make with those units and share are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And such a wonderful digital representation of the real thing. And for most people, that's enough, right?
Right.
For 99% of us out there playing on Sunday or Friday night, anywhere else, that's enough. And so I really love that product. I love the form, of it, that you can put it on your board or a sideboard or whatever. What other things? You know what? It's kind of, I wouldn't, Lloyd would hate me for saying this. So, the brand LR bags.
Right.
So, L stands for Lloyd. Okay. They're in San Luis Obispo. I am friends with their lead product designer.
Okay.
And so he actually does all of my like CAD drafting stuff. When I need parts
Oh, nice.
parts made, I send over a prototype to him, and then Mark draws it out, and then he ships it off. So anyway, I've gotten to know Mark, and then really well, and then through Mark, Lloyd, and the LR Bags team, and that kind of thing. And they just released the newest version of their acoustic guitar pickup system at NAMM this year.
Oh yeah.
And the LR Bags Anthem was already like the industry standard for acoustic guitar pickups.
Right.
And this thing is unbelievable. This
Yeah.
new one. It's so good. There's no other brand that's even on the same solar system for acoustic guitar amplification.
I feel like they're kind of like top dog.
They're top dog.
If you're talking about that type of thing, then you're talking about their stuff.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, anyone else who decides I'm going to be a competitor to LR Bags, you're 25 years behind.
You're so far behind.
So far behind. Like
That's
they're so
hill.
good. Yeah. And along with this system, they released a guitar, an LR Bags guitar.
Okay.
And it looks awful. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those Ovation guitars that have the curvy back.
Yeah.
It's a thin body. It is if you are, in a certain demographic of age, they are perfect. But dude, they sound unbelievable.
Yeah.
They sound so good. The tone wood, they have gone above and beyond to the engineering of building that guitar with everything. It's crazy the science that they've applied to the mastery, like the craftsmanship of that guitar, and have spared no detail and have not gone with industry standard practices or designs or anything. They've spared nothing for ultimate tone and resonance response. And man, it's ugly as heck, but it sounds unbelievable.
It's always such a fight for me when because like aesthetics and the way something looks really, like, as shallow as it sometimes feels, like it is super important to me.
Yeah, I know.
That's always such a fight.
I know.
Okay, so I admittedly don't have to ground. I still don't understand why there. I mean, maybe there are now, I guess. Why there's not potentiometer? There's just not a ground lug on these potentiometers. Like, why do
you have to ground it to the case?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. They kind of created a ground lug, which is the one furthest from you.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a very old, archaic design that has not been updated. And
I need to up my heat a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, what are you sitting at temperature wise?
I'm at 800 right now.
Okay.
And let's run it up to, I think it maxes out at 899.
Yeah. Push it out for your ground and then lower it back down for anything you're doing on the switch.
Most of the time, I just don't need that much heat. But let's see. Yeah. So 890, it maxes out at 899. Cool. All right, so a little bit more heat should help.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I agree with you. The aesthetic really, I think, is important for a lot of people. There are purists out there, right?
Yeah.
And I can't hate on that. But it's definitely something to consider.
I think you know what I had to. There's always these brands you're aware of, but maybe you don't get get an experience. Yeah, there we go. Obviously, like I've heard of, I forget you're over here. I always super familiar or always heard about Two Rock.
Yeah,
I recently played one for the first time.
Okay.
And good Lord,
was it awesome?
I'm in love.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I've never heard a bad two rock.
sometimes you play something and it's,
Yeah.
like I always reference, like, the first time I played a real Klon,
Yeah.
I had already played Klon clones and I had made
Sure.
a Klon clone.
Sure.
So the experience of playing a real one was like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, it's good, but like I wouldn't pay $4,000 for it.
Right.
This, though, I'm like, it's expensive, but it deserves, like, you really can, like, experience why it should be that much.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fanboy now. I definitely need to get one at some point.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you know what? Amps are not losing their value. So
Yes, 100%. Still a great, and that's what I really want to do, is I enjoy the convenience of digital amps,
emulation. Sure.
but man, you can't beat being in the room with a real amp, tube amp. Just,
No.
nothing beats it. All right.
Unless you have like a hearing sensitivity.
Yeah.
Whoever says they don't miss it are lying.
Yeah. There's stuff to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are wired back in.
Sick.
We are installed, but not like. What were we saying about height?
You want to make sure that the top of the pickup cover is at least flush or just below the top edge of the fingerboard.
Okay, we're a little bit below.
That's okay.
I don't know if it's like just below. If I should try to bring it up a little bit, or
Let me let's see here. I got a micrometer here.
I also I guess I should look and try to balance it, right? So it's flat.
I would actually raise the treble side a couple 30 seconds over the bass side.
Okay.
I like to offset it just a little bit.
2.
Are you a metric guy or standard?
Standard, I think.
Okay. So I would have the cover.
Keep this in camera, I guess, but
yeah, I would have the cover probably 7/64 below the edge of the fretboard.
I don't think I have anything to be able to measure like that. Like, I don't think I could measure that with my calipers.
Yeah, it's not much.
I think we're just in a free.
Think of like a 16th of an inch.
I'm so bad at that, though. I don't have to do these, like. Oh wait, wrong way. I'm really bad at, like, guesstimating distances, or like
the thickness of your screwdriver you just put down.
That's a 16th.
Just about.
That it should be below that.
Yeah. So if you put that across the top of the pickup cover, and then you ran a straight edge across the fretboard to the screwdriver, that should be about the starting height. But if you're squinting like that, you're close enough.
I'm sure it's gonna, no matter what I do, at my level of ability. Okay. I just don't want to do this bad.
Yeah, let's see. Show me that angle. Like
Okay.
if you tip it.
Oh,
put it in the plane position and then show it in front of the camera.
Wait, because can you see this camera?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but if you like turn it 90 degrees,
well,
so
I don't think I can't do the top down because of the table.
Oh, no, rotate it and
this way?
Yeah, that way. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, so
yeah, you're fine. That's great. Yeah, that's totally great.
Good? Okay.
Yeah, that's the 16th. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so nervous about it.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Cool. Bridge pickup. So this is the worst part about
one down.
About Telecaster pickup swaps. You have to take the bridge plate off.
Okay.
And so depending on how your saddles are, sometimes you can leave them And sometimes you actually have to take, just the saddles on their intonation like screws in order to loosen those and remove those screws.
Because I got to do these back ones.
Yeah, you have to pull all those out completely.
Is it just these 4 that are holding it down?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying, because you can't, unless I do all of them at the same.
Yeah. Or if you can rotate the saddle, like if you can flip that up 90 degrees on the edge, then sometimes you can finagle it out.
I can get this one out.
I'm surprised you were able to loosen that with a screwdriver, like a small screwdriver like that. Those screws are usually super tight.
Probably something that needed to be adjusted then.
Yeah.
Or can I just push it back? Well, worst case, Drew Walsh can help.
He can do a setup for you.
Boom. Okay, cool. I got this one.
How often do you see Drew? These guitars are insane, man.
They're super amazing. A lot more lately. We personally, so we go to the same church now.
Oh, nice.
So I see him pretty often. Which is pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. What about you, dude? I know you've had a pretty exciting release as of somewhat late.
Yeah, so this last November we launched a new pedal called the Technician, which was a big step forward for us in DSP technology. And it's been really great. It's been awesome. Like, people have responded to it really well. And it's been a cool journey because it's like our first product. Oh, cool. Yeah. It's been our first product like that. So there's like a little bit of, there's a little bit of a learning phase to it. But what's great is that it has USB, and we've just been like super consistent of like either fixing little bugs, or even like we've added a bunch of features and a lot of updates on like, hey, now you can do this with it. Now you can do this with it. And so
nice.
The goal is to keep doing that. So that not only does it become the best product it can be, but it always stays relevant and stays interesting to
supported.
Supported, and maybe dive back into if you set it aside for a certain period of time. And so that's been really great. It's finally we put a lot of time into developing that and trying not to rush ourselves. And so it's nice to finally have it out and be like, okay, and also what's next? Like, what are we launching next? And
when did you start concepting it? Because this has been like 2 years in the making, right? At least when you were like learning like programming language. That's been years.
Yeah, so it was 8 years of knowing this is where I want to end up. 8 years of going, how can I be interesting in the market? Like, if I want to, because I want to. If you want to grow into a bigger company, not just like, for me personally, I've always been really into business and growing the company and like doing like, what's the biggest, coolest thing we can do. And if I wanted to do that, what would that take? And I just didn't feel at the time, for me, I was ever gonna release an overdrive that was gonna outsell Keeley and JHS and Wampler and those guys, who already had such a huge head start on me because they're like the OG guys, right? And so then it was a question of, okay, well, if I can't do that and scale for me personally of what I thought I could do, then what does that mean? And that was, well, like digital effects, which I was also just very interested in.
Was this all like self-reflection, or were you doing like research on like what people were thinking about your brand, or like projecting onto you, or was this just out of your own like speculation and brain dreaming?
Yeah, it was really that. So I got started doing this type of stuff because I was like a huge gearhead. So I already had such a huge love for gear. and especially digital effects and delay, and like delay's always been like my favorite effect.
Yeah.
And so it was the point at which we started selling enough pedals that I was like, oh, this isn't a hobby. This like could be a real thing. Like we have a chance to like do a real thing. And so then it was a question of, okay, if this is going to be a real thing, like what's our plan? Like what direction are we going to go in? How can we innovate and like be interesting and do creative things? So it was a lot of like introspection and like self-analyzing what our company could be and what if the company was successful, what I would want it to be. And so we ended up on that, and then that started an 8-year long journey of I remember I learned basic and like pushed that as far as I could, and then was like, I can't really achieve what I want to with basic. So then I learned Arduino, and Arduino was really cool. And it's even cooler now, to be fair, but at the time it was, it couldn't really do what I wanted to do because of the speed. You had a lot of abstraction layers.
There was, and I mean, it was like finding chips that could like handle and buffer all that stuff was an issue, right?
Yeah.
And like fit in small enclosures.
And to do Arduino, you had to basically use the chips that were supported for Arduino,
right?
Which was a lot less than it is now. They've made some really big leaps in the last like 5 years. But yeah, it's the same thing. So I was like, okay, well, then I started writing in C, and I still mainly write in C and C++. But it was then like, okay, we'll start developing on this chip. And then, okay, well, that chip's not fast enough, or that chip doesn't have enough memory, and then swap to this chip and this chip and this chip. So 8-year journey, and then 2-year journey of like I knew a bunch of coding at that point, like how to read knobs, ADCs, how to do switches, how to do MIDI, how to do all these things. But I hadn't made that leap to DSP and like understanding how that works. And so that was the 2-year journey of like figuring out how that works, and then designing my own custom platform to do the DSP.
Dude, this is, I mean, hearing this is just going back to what I was saying earlier about like, if you knew all the hoops and stuff you would have to learn to get here, you wouldn't have done it, right?
Oh my gosh. No,
thank goodness we don't have that kind of like foreknowledge
right
of the journey. Because man, it's incredible to hear. And I'm sure it's, if you actually like sit back and think about all the lessons you've learned and the long nights and the sleepless problems you're trying to solve in your head. And now it's like, yes, like,
and being
I went through that.
And being an entrepreneur, this is such a roller coaster. It's such, and like you do it, I'm sure there's studies on it. Like there is that, like when you're going up, like it's such a satisfying natural high. Of like everything is the best. You're on top of the world. But then those lows are so low sometimes.
So low.
Like they're so bad. And like I share this a lot, but like I constantly have people who share similar stories, so it always encourages me to like kind of keep doing it. But like also the very first month I started the company of like, okay, like I'm going to try to start selling, my own designs. I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease that was like super debilitating and super horrible. But like, also if I hadn't have had that, I wouldn't have committed to the company. Like it's kind of that similar thing. Like it forced, because
it changed your professional work ability anyway.
Yeah. I couldn't have a normal job.
Yeah.
So it forced me to commit in a way that like I wouldn't have been able to. Which is just, it's just so crazy. Life is just so crazy how that works.
Life is crazy, dude.
But
so I'm going to interject on your install technique. I would attach the pickup to the bridge plate first.
Okay.
So put the mounting screws through the top of the.
In case people haven't seen how good that looks. It's got such patina. I was just about to say, it's got such a nice patina.
Yeah.
I want more. That's copper. Is that copper?
It's copper.
Man, I want more stuff made out of copper. It just looks so
Dude,
good.
I'm going to show you the new version.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Like that. Like this?
So the new version is similar concept. It's just more.
I got to turn because I can't see the screen. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's way more information now. There's like the year of manufacturing. There's what's the positive and negative side of the coil.
Right.
It has like the polarity of the pickup. Just all of helpful information for like a tech or an installer to have should someone just show up with a box of pickups and no instruction. They
Right.
can know, they can figure out what to do with it.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, it looks really clean too. Like that.
Thanks,
That's
man.
that new laser.
That's the fiber
cutter?
laser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
the fiber laser does this in less than 15 seconds.
that is crazy.
That one that you have, that was like a 10-minute process every single time.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
It's one of the tools I would overnight if it ever broke.
Like, also, like, shout out, like,
doesn't matter what it costs.
Getting a new tool is just like so satisfying.
That is a rush that I love. A tool that like enhances the performance of a job or makes it more efficient.
I've gotten really into like organization lately.
Yeah,
so
me
like
too.
Buying all these little things that are like perfect for like specific tool, and like it goes in its specific place, and it's can be as clean as possible.
Dude, I have to. I'll take a video and I'll text it to you later. And I'll put it in the Discord. So
throw it in the Discord.
But I cut this this piece of acrylic, so that I could put all of my Telecaster neck pickup covers into like organized slots in my toolbox.
Ooh,
and it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
and that's actually what the first V1 actually caught on fire and almost burned my building to the ground. That was 3 weeks ago.
That was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. But V2 turned out perfect.
V2, you nailed it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so how should I be setting this one?
So this one, you usually put the high E side lower, and you raise the bass side up closer to the strings. So I would drop the high E down.
Well, I guess in this one I can adjust.
Yeah, you can adjust that.
If it's not perfect, I can always adjust it. Okay.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
That totally makes sense. Okay.
But this way you have something to hold on to. You can feed the wires through, and then you can just put the plate down into place, put the mounting screws back on, and then solder in, and you're good to go.
Okay, we're getting right to the end of this.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited about your new product, and
Thanks, man.
It's amazing to hear about the journey that it took to get there. Wait, when did you found Matthews Effects? Was it 2016?
It was 2015, I think.
15. Okay.
Yeah, which is so crazy. Dang it, I forgot now which. I totally spaced. I forgot which tab that was.
On the switch?
Soldered to. Yeah.
It's probably the furthest one on the opposite side of the neck.
Oh, wait.
But you took a picture of it, so.
I did. So I think it was this one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why you have a picture, man.
Dude, that was very good, because I would have been like, crap.
Yeah.
I think that's
when I get the frustrating phone call to the shop. It's like, I took all the wires out. Where did they go?
We should have done a lessons learned list, and that would have been number one. Is take a picture.
Take a picture.
Okay,
before and after, man.
Soldered on here, and yeah, no, it's really exciting about the technician. It's been a crazy journey, and then it just opens up a lot of doors for where we can go next, because like.
Right.
Anything's possible, like in that sense of like, if I can think it, I can code it. and then like we can
Yeah.
do it. So I have some like
Yeah.
cool ideas I'm excited about.
Nice.
That we'll
I like
have
to hear
to. We also need to get you one. You get one over to the your shop and stuff.
Dude, I have a slot for
we'll
it
send
on
one
my
down.
board.
Yeah.
Because I have what is it? It's a Strymon. It's not the timeline. It's like their delay head.
Oh, is it the
The
bigger one?
Volante.
The Volante. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds great. Hate the interface.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I haven't played that, but I have played the Night Sky, which is like the same form factor, but it's their reverb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Super cool. The Volante, it has the delay like heads, so you can like turn them on and off, and make really incredible sounds, and it sounds really good. It's just not user friendly, and you only have one preset you can save.
Really?
And I don't have a MIDI controller.
Oh, right. Okay, so it has MIDI, but it only has one like favorite.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Almost burned myself, but I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're good.
Nice, dude. Oh, we did not test the output of the bridge pickup to see if it was active. But the way you can test that is plug a guitar cable in the output jack, put it in the bridge position on the switch, volume and tone at 10, and then read the resistance of the end of the guitar cable.
Oh, okay. That's true.
Yeah. So that's a way to test if the overall circuit is actually functioning.
Let me try to stuff this in here.
Yeah, this is one of the trickiest parts. Depending on...
Oh, wait, I got to put these back in.
Oh, yeah, for the bridge plate.
I think I need to just do some general cleaning on this guitar probably, too.
The guitar's going to have a patina like that pickup bass plate.
Yeah. It was definitely well loved when I got it. It was like some Nashville player had it before me. But
did you buy it on Reverb?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Dude.
Tracked it down on Reverb
I
after
love Black Double Bound Tele.
I think like 8 months. Which also, it's funny, ironically, because I got really into binding on teles because of Drew's Mason Stoops tele.
Yeah.
Which is really what I wanted.
Exactly.
I wanted that middle binding, but I kind of settled for the double. Still looks really good.
Well, $3,500 plus dollars. It's tough to justify.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this audio collective group. If we could talk about that for a couple minutes. Let's do it. We kind of talked about the concept of this for a while.
Yes.
And it's going pretty awesome so far. It's hard for me a little bit to carve out, like I have to be purposeful in carving out time to make sure I'm active in there as much as I need to be. But what's really cool about it so far is like we have a perks list in there that just like lists all the perks from the different brands that are now in that group as well. And then we're doing monthly giveaways. One-stop shop. We're doing monthly giveaways. It's a free experience. And then you just get to hang out with people and talk about gear the whole time, which is pretty awesome.
Dude, and honestly, I think one of the greatest parts is, yes, you do have to be intentional about being in that space, right? But when you're in there, there's no fluff. Like, there's no ads. There's there's no stupid, trending TikTok reels from, whatever you can imagine. It's just like purest, discussion.
Yeah. Our number one
that looks so good.
Yeah, like that looks so good with that. Yeah, our number one priority with the group was like provide value first, because I didn't want it to be a sales thing. I didn't want it to be you go in there and you're bombarded with different stuff, but I wanted you to be able to interact with brands in a more like offhanded nature, like a very relaxed nature, where like, yeah, you can just talk to them, and like if you have a question, you can ask them, and which is kind of what the experience has been like so far, which is really awesome. And not to I guess disappoint anyone, but there is also a secret section for brands where all of the brand owners can just talk about business and like what's going on in the market and like
discuss our woes.
yeah, and encourage each other and everything like that.
Yeah.
There used to be
Yeah.
this secret Facebook group that we were in where we got that kind of experience, which was really awesome. And then it just kind of died and for different reasons. And then,
so one, like also, well, yeah, one of the nice things about that group on Facebook, at least, is like if we had a troublesome business transaction, we could check with each other, like, hey, is this person on the up and up, or do I need to follow up and make sure that the things aren't going south here?
There was definitely a list.
Yeah,
there were people on the offenders list, and also I gotta think through how to say this. The person who was number one on that list.
Yeah.
I was recently talking to a friend at a brand, and they were like, "Yeah, we just hired this new guy."
Oh yeah, we talked about this at NAM.
Oh, did we talk about this at NAM? Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, super cool." And they're like, "Yeah, this is such and such." And I was like, "Oh no."
Deer in the headlights, like,
yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah.
Didn't they last like 2 weeks though? I'm pretty sure they're not there anymore.
I don't even know. I didn't follow up to find out. But yeah,
I asked someone who was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it was like a week and a half.
Yeah, that happens. But we do. It's kind of funny. There's the secret life of brand owners that like if you like try to scam brands or like other people, or you're just like a bad abuser in groups and stuff like that, we definitely know who you are and we talk about you.
We won't shame you publicly, but we'll tell all the other industry leaders to blacklist.
Yes. So then when you send in a customer email, you're not going to get as good a help because you weren't a very nice person and you weren't, that's funny though. But
brand karma is real.
It is definitely. And just like that goes for owners too. Like there's it's amazing for our industry that like the rule is that like everyone is super nice and super supportive, and like it's an awesome industry to be a part of.
Yeah.
But then there's always people.
There's a few sour apples.
Yeah, and karma definitely comes back for them. Okay, pickups are installed. I don't think you guys want to watch me string it and take that time and everything like that. So I'm in the Audio Collective Discord group. I'm gonna post some follow-up stuff and maybe some sound samples too and stuff like that.
Dude, I'm proud of you, Rick. That looks awesome.
This is the first set of pickups I've ever installed or changed, so I'm pretty pumped to get it strung up. It
only took you 5.5, 6 years to get the courage.
Yeah, if you guys missed out, I've had these pickups for a very long time. So they're finally made their way into my tele, which I'm very pumped about.
Awesome,
quick shout out, Kurtis Lambertone. Awesome, amazing pickups. He made
my cell phone number on that card, so don't.
Oh, is it? Well, now people know. They'll be taking screenshots.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
Amazing pickups. If you guys aren't familiar, go check his stuff out. He made this video happen, and it only took 6 or 7 years for it to happen. If you're not already in the Audio Collective Discord group, join in there. We have free giveaways every month. It's a free group. There's a bunch of perks, brands offering discounts and different stuff for their stuff. Super fun. Talk about gear. Have fun. Do we have any questions in the comments that we want to answer real quick? Is there any popping out to you? And also, if no, that's completely fine.
I saw some nice engagement, not too many questions.
That's yeah.
But
well, if there's any good ones, we'll comment back after we
yeah,
post this. But
yeah, it is pretty late in most of the world.
it is. Yeah, I already my wife is like, oh, dinner's ready, and I was like, oh, I'm still streaming.
My wife texted me. She's like, "Did you eat?"
Yeah. Thank you to everybody who hung out with us live. We're going to be
Yeah.
doing more of these more often. And yeah, thank you for hanging out and being a part of this. Thank you, Kurtis. And
Anytime, man.
we'll see
Pleasure.
you guys. We'll see you guys next